Welcome to Conduct a Successful Timber Harvest, a session in the Learn About Your Land series. This session will cover the people and steps to follow to make a timber sale successful.
There are many reasons to have trees cut from your woods besides making a few dollars, and many of these reasons are related to the ecology of your woods. If you are hoping to maintain or attract specific wildlife to your property, you may need to nudge your forest towards particular trees, tree types, and tree sizes. Many of us enjoy our retreat home in the woods, but this has some wildfire risk associated with it. Harvesting timber can reduce this risk by removing hazardous trees and keeping the woods healthy and vigorous. A forester may recommend that trees be cut regardless of a profitable timber sale. These reasons may tie into helping you achieve your plans for your woods, such as wildlife habitat and reducing wildfire risk. They may also tie into improving the health of your forest and trees. In order to have a successful and sustainable timber sale, 3 legs of a stool need to have equal standing. The first leg is you. Make sure you are clear with all people working for you in a timber sale why you own the property, what you are hoping to achieve with a timber sale, and what you want your woods to look like in 25 years or beyond. The second leg is your forester. Foresters are trained to integrate your goals with the knowledge of how trees grow, to make recommendations for activities and harvests. The third leg is a professional logger. The logger should have the training, education, and experience to implement a forester's recommendations into a sustainable timber harvest. Foresters can help you in a variety of ways, and can be involved from the beginning by inventorying your woods and writing a plan, through timber harvest activities of marking trees and monitoring the harvest while the loggers are working. It is up to you to decide which services you want to use and when. When you first look for a forester, you should talk to several and invite them to your property. Ask them about their education and any training since getting a forestry degree. Get a list of references from the forester and contact those landowners. Did the landowners think the forester was helping them achieve the goals the landowner themselves wanted? Make sure the forester has insurance, and feel free to ask for estimates for any services you are interested in. Finally, do they have all the experience you are looking for? Do they understand the wildlife habitat needs you are interested in? Or do they work with someone who does? And are they available when you need them? There are 3 types of foresters. Public foresters, who work for the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. Private consulting foresters, who work for themselves. And industrial consulting foresters, who work for the forest products industry. The Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources maintains a list of cooperating foresters. These are private and industrial consulting foresters who have signed an agreement with the DNR to follow DNR prescribed sustainable forestry guidelines. This list is found on their website. You should look for similar things in a logger as you would for a forester. What kind of training and education do they have? These are some of the programs and professional groups loggers can be involved with. Do they have experience and the equipment appropriate for your land and your type of sale? Talk to their references, particularly other landowners. Ask about the communication and how the logger left the woods. If possible, visit several sites where a harvest has taken place. A timber harvest can be a bit of a shock with the dramatic change. It is good to know what to expect and what a good harvest looks like.
Talking to your neighbors before a timber sale could avoid problems down the road. Make sure both of you agree on any property boundaries involved in the sale. If a tree falls onto their property or a tree is cut from their property, there could be issues. Your neighbor may also wish to harvest some trees, and coordinating the sales may bring you both a better price. If the sale borders your neighbor's property, they may have established roads you could use for your sale. You may have to pay for their use, but it could bring more money on your sale if the logger doesn't have to build a road. Finally, your neighbor might have insights into which foresters or loggers to work with. They may also have other harvesting experiences to share.
It is wise to know the approximate value of your timber prior to opening your sale for bids. In addition to the species and type of product your trees could be sold for, other factors such as distance to mills, size of the sale, and time of year of the sale can affect what your timber is worth. A forester can help you determine potential market value and help you understand how that number was determined. Don't share this with bidders, rather, use it to evaluate the bids when you open them. Roads, trails, and landings make up the transportation network to move logs from your woods to the mill. Once a tree is cut, it will be moved out of the woods on a series of trails. The logs will be taken to a landing where they are piled, then loaded onto trucks. Roads are used to move logs off the property. Unless you say otherwise, a logger will set trails and landings according to the fastest way to move everything. However, this is a chance for you to have recreational trails set for use after the timber sale. Also recognize that the time of year and size of equipment may limit where trails and landings can be set. The next step is to develop a sale prospectus so you can start receiving bids. This document describes the what, where, when, and how of the sale. This is the general list of what might be included. A prospectus should include whether road building is needed and how those roads and trails need to be constructed for potential future use. If roads need to be built, this will be reflected in the bids as it will increase the costs to harvest. Also, if there is a request for the operator to use specific equipment or limits on what time of year the harvest can occur, that information should also be included. You may or may not wish to request a bid bond. A bid bond requires a bidder to include earnest money with their bid. This money is treated as a down payment for the selected bidder and is returned to those not selected to conduct the sale. We discuss lump sum and scaled product sales in a future slide. However, this information, as to how you, the landowner, want to be paid, would be included since it affects how a bid is prepared. Foresters have a list of potential loggers for your sale. It is best to directly mail your prospectus to this list. Most landowners use a sealed bid process. You will receive bids from the loggers and open them all on the advertised date. At this time, you can compare all the bids and, importantly, check references before moving on any one bid. Before any logger or equipment arrives at your property, be sure you have a signed contract. Although a logger may have a contract they use, check out our sample timber sale contract for the important components and considerations. Before the first tree is cut, meet with the logger on site. Review the timber sale contract along with your goals for your property and the sale. With safety precautions in place, you can also watch the logging operation in progress. Visit the logging site on occasion, or have your forester visit with updates for you. Once the harvest is complete, make sure the terms of the contract are met. If you included a performance bond, be sure to return it to the logger to release them from further obligations. Basis is the value of all merchantable timber when the property is purchased or inherited. However, the original basis includes both the value of the land and the value of the timber. When using basis for a timber sale, you want the basis on the timber. You would thus only pay taxes on the difference between the current value and the value of the timber when it was acquired.